my name is Mike Tellerino, the CEO and founder of K9 for Veterans. Tonight, I've got Doug Jackson and Robert Parkinson here with me tonight. Doug is the president of War Dog Charity Writers, and Robert is the vice president.
Yep.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the War Dogs charity first before we get into the topic for the show tonight?
And kick it off.
Well, War Dogs is a group of riders. We're stationed we go out of Woodstock, Illinois. We specifically try to arrange rides to benefit K9s for Veterans. We do rides to support your cause, which is helping out the veterans match it up with dogs. We've been going through some changes the past couple of years.
As all groups do.
Yeah, and got through some growing pains, but things are looking really good. We had a really successful ride in this past June, and we've got another one coming up on October 1st.
Right.
It's a great group of people, very committed to the cause. People from all different walks of life, too. We all do a whole bunch of different things,
Right.
but we all have that kind of center affinity for the veterans and, of course, for the dogs as well.
Right. Can't forget the dogs.
Yes. So.
Yeah. You know, I've worked with a lot of groups that, you know, do things for the veterans to help raise funds. But War Dog Charity Writers, everybody in your group, they have a heart of gold. They really do. They put the ride and the veterans and trying to raise money to provide another service dog to a veteran. They put that first and foremost before anything. I mean, they really go out of their way to make that event that you hold to raise funds a huge success, and it really is.
Yeah, you always want the events to be fun. Doug does a great job of getting a good, safe ride together, and that's really important to us as well. That every rider, whether on the bike alone, or you've got somebody two-upping with you, or you're on a trike, or we get people in sidecars who actually bring dogs in their sidecars with them. We want to make sure it's fun and safe. So good ride, good atmosphere, a good distance so people aren't tired out by the end of the ride. And then some good camaraderie at the end, food, music.
Well, you have a great after party as well.
Yeah.
You really do. But the ride itself, I love the way you guys coordinate it. It's just an awesome event. It really is. It runs smooth. There's no issues. You know, and then you have Doug. No.
He messes everything up. He messes everything up.
Tell them what goes into the ride. I mean, there's a lot of planning, and you have a lot
Give us a little insight of what it takes to pull this off.
Well, just I'm blessed to be surrounded with a lot of great people. After Robert speaks, I want to say less because he does such a great job talking about our organization. And I think it starts with people our group really understanding that those veterans, you know, as the phrase goes, you know, all gave some gave all. And I think when we bring them home, a lot of times they go forgotten to some degree. And
it's true.
God bless you guys for all that you're doing. And we're just so grateful to be part of a very credible organization like K9 for Vets, okay? Because there's a lot of them out there that when we decide where our money's going, it goes to, you know, the lion's share goes to you because you're doing such great things.
Do that. You know, we have 22 veterans a day committing suicide. If you had one, that'd be too many, but 22 a day. And, you know, that number is even low. You know, they're saying it's more like 26 to 28 a day. So if you do that, even at 22, it's almost 1 an hour.
Yeah.
You know, so by your group organizing these runs for us and donating that money to us to provide a service dog, and that's what the money that you're raising for is to provide a service dog to a veteran. It's a game changer for them. You have no idea. I mean, you know what you're doing, but if you actually seen where your money is going after we present the dog to the veteran, I mean, it's a game changer for them. It's a life-changing event for them to get that service dog. It really is. Yeah. So God bless you for raising those funds and doing what you're doing so we could provide that service. You know, we've got 126 or so veterans through our program And I'm really proud to say we haven't lost one to PTSD suicide.
That's awesome.
That's the kind of difference these service dogs make. So when you raise those funds to give that dog to a veteran, you change their life, believe me. So
Yeah.
God bless you for what you're doing.
Yeah, and it's so neat to see the outcome of a veteran and a dog being put together, and of course what you do putting them through. If I can share a story real
Sure.
quick, just before our last ride, and this is how it all kind of ties together outside of the rides too. My wife and I were in a shop that we frequent in Libertyville, and we met a veteran the day before the War Dogs ride. I knew he was a veteran because he had a combat vet's vest on, and we just got to talking. I told him about our ride the next day. After he left the shop owner shared a little bit about her relationship with him and what he had gone through. I was so happy the next day when he actually showed up at the ride.
Right.
And I remember bringing him over to you to introduce him to you because he had been looking for a dog
Right.
and going through
I
the
know.
VA. And I said, well, you're in the right place, and let me introduce you to Michael. And he's in your program now. And I saw the beautiful dog, and it's that kind of thing happening, which is so cool.
When I watch these veterans come into the program, they're maybe a little apprehensive about, is this for me? Do I really want this? Is this going to work for me? But I'm going to tell you, 2-3 months after being in that program, you couldn't get that service dog away from them. They are a different person. Now they're forming a bond with other veterans that are going through the same crisis that they're going through. And it's just, now they're having competition. My dog's better than your dog. And it's just so amazing to watch them grow. Where before they were basically a shell of a person, timid, didn't go out much, and now it's just a game changer for them. It really is.
Yeah.
Well, what did Ben tell us, right? And Ben was at our last breakfast here last weekend, right?
Ben is a war dog now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too, which is another great outcome. Here's somebody who started with you and then met us.
And he loves the group.
And
Yeah.
and it's so great to have him around.
But he was telling us he was in his basement for
Yeah.
a year or
Oh.
something like that.
Yeah.
In his mother's basement.
Yeah.
He comes home, and you don't think about the basics of that. Now you get an animal that you have to care for.
Gotta get
you
up
got to
in the
get out of
morning.
your basement.
And
You got to get up. You got to take
gotta
take
feed
him
that
out.
dog,
Some
walk
people
that
don't
dog.
think about. We just did the Mustang run, and a good friend of mine, Eddie Rizzo, who pulls that together every year, just had his 10th anniversary. He's a city guy. He comes out to the country, and he said those Mustangs scared the living hell out of him, right? But put him to his knees, But you have to. Those veterans can relate to those horses that are also a bit of a maverick.
Yes, without
Right?
a doubt.
So it's a cool story to think about. Ben, young man, comes home, he's in his mother's basement, and
He
he's
was
full
a
of
shell
life.
of a person. When I
Full
first
of
met
life.
him, I had to pull the words out of him to get him to have a conversation with me. Now, when you meet Ben, he's yappity yappity yap.
Yes,
He's
he's
one of our
excited.
best
Yeah.
speakers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
He does the same thing for K9. If we have an event that we need someone to go to and let the people see what it is to have a veteran with the service dog, he's amazing. He really is. And it's such a transformation from when he came into the program to where he's at now. And again, it's all because of these service dogs and the dogs that you provide to these new veterans coming into we couldn't do it without your help. These gentlemen wouldn't have a service dog if it wasn't for war dogs. So God bless you. I mean, you changed their life immensely. You really have. And just being a part of your group, people I've talked to that belong to your group, they're so enthusiastic about everything. Even you.
Even me.
Even
Doug,
Even me. I come out of my shell.
Well, tell me more about this run that we're doing on October 1st.
So we'll have a ride out to Beloit.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Rock Bar. tomorrow morning we'll solidify that ride, make sure we have the route. The morning,
Who chooses the route?
a couple of us go out and run
Yeah.
it, but oftentimes we pull it together.
You always
a couple
do
months.
the right route.
We
It's
do-
always a
we
good
do
route.
a great job.
How long
got-
of a
I got-
route is it?
Oh, what are you going to do this time?
Usually it's 60 miles, and it's police led. It's state
Right, and that's
state
important.
PD.
Yeah.
John Hand and his guys. I want to put a shout out to John because man, oh man, are they a great group of people. They come through for us every single year.
Yeah, and road docs.
Yes.
Road docs.
Thanks for
yeah.
mentioning
They're
road docs.
amazing.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah.
There's so many good organizations out there. You know, back in '71 when the Vietnam guys were coming home and stuff, there was nothing for them. Fortunately, today I think we've all learned a lot from the way we treated our Vietnam veterans coming home.
Amen.
So today, groups like yours that are doing such an amazing thing to help veterans, there's organizations out there that are now stepping up to the plate to help our veterans.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's such a great thing
Yeah.
that when I see what your group does, when we're at an event and we have our veterans there, they're all jacked up about it. They really are. They look at these people are doing for us. Look at how many people are out here, and it lets them know that somebody does care about them.
Yeah.
You
Isn't that
you know what's
important?
you know what's so neat about the rides too, whether it's a War Dogs ride or one of the other clubs, there are a lot of rides each year. It's really encouraging and heartwarming to see all the different clubs coming out to
Right.
support each other.
Sure.
So, when War Dogs has their ride and we see other guys come out and the other women come out and support us, and we love to go out and support them on their rides too. We learn about what each other
Right.
supports, and so it's a learning experience for everybody, each ride. It's always a different experience. We meet new people, and I think that's why our club right now is going through a growth spurt.
I was going to say, your War Dog Charity Riders has grown so much since when we first got partnered together that today, I mean, you got chapters in Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, we're working on it. Yeah, we have people up in Wisconsin. We have connections out in Arizona now, and we're going through some formalities of getting things in place for the official Wisconsin chapter. But they're behind us all through that. Great group of people up there as well, and it expands our outreach, in our catchment area. So. More people that can find out about what we do. And it's really nice to see that people outside of our local area want to
Right.
participate and want to
Sure.
support K9s for Vets.
Right.
So it's another win.
We were honored when I first got the call from
Stephen.
Stephen. I
Stephen
thought,
Pinsler.
Yeah, Stephen Pinsler, who was not doing well. So my heart's out to Steve for what he's going through. He's an amazing man. He's been a cornerstone of War Dog Charities since I think the inception, right?
He's the founder. Yeah,
Yeah,
He's
founder,
the
and,
driving force.
he's
Talk
not-
about passion when he gets rolling, man.
Oh,
Okay.
Woo! So,
hello, Steve.
yes, yeah, good stuff.
But so Steve is just a good guy. But again, your group is just amazing. The way you band together and pull these rides off, and the amount of money you raise, I'm still in awe about it. It's like wow. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And when I pull up in the morning at Woodstock Harley, and I see the number of bikes out there, it's like I'm just like wow. And again, we've got 22 veterans a day committing suicide. So every veteran you're helping, hopefully that's one less that's going to take that final step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the kind of difference these service dogs make. We've got a ceremony at Shanahan State Park this coming Sunday. It's called the Forgotten War Memorial, where we add names to veterans who lost that battle to PTSD and committed suicide. And it's a shame we have to add any names to the memorial. But every time you place a dog from War Dogs with a veteran, you should feel so good about that, because I'm going to tell you.
yeah.
And again, I see it every day with them. Once they get that dog, based on what you provided to give that dog to them for, you'd have to just sit there and smile,
Yeah.
because it's just a total gift. It really is.
I've always been a dog guy. I've had dogs my entire life. Many of the persons in war dogs have dogs in their families as well. And so to your point, Michael, what K9s for Vets is not always only working to save the vets, but you also save the dogs.
Right.
These dogs are on the line to be euthanized.
Right.
And to bring an animal into somebody's life, and anyone who loves a dog knows how much great energy that animal brings into your home
Sure.
and into your life, and gives you the opportunity to spend some of your brain time not concentrating on your problems.
Right.
Like Doug, you were saying, gives you a purpose. But the companionship, the camaraderie, the natural love, the entity that is happy to see you,
Always.
no matter what mood you're in.
Always.
It's beautiful. So you're not only changing the lives of vets, you're changing the lives of dogs, and for that, I thank you. That's kind of what drew me to war dogs over the edge. Was also saving the dogs too. So
I always ask, who saves who? Did the veteran save the service dog, or the service dog save the veteran?
yes,
It's a win-win. You can't lose with the combination.
Yeah.
You know, I
really
love
can't.
about what you said earlier. You've had about approximately 160 go through your program.
Right.
yeah.
You haven't lost one of those.
Not
guys.
one.
So
Not
tell
one.
me what you're doing and what ultimately we're doing to support
It's-
K9 for Vets isn't working.
It's not.
Right?
It is working. What you're
That's
doing
my
is
point.
working.
Yeah.
And what these service dogs are doing for our veterans, it's just an amazing to see them work together. They come such a long way. We got veterans that wouldn't leave their home.
Yes.
Were so recluse and didn't talk with their wives, didn't talk with their children. They'd sit in front of a TV 6, 12, 18 hours a day and just a shell of a person. 2-3 months after they get the service dog, they're talking, they're going out, they're going to Walmart with their wife. It's like, wow. And the wife takes a step back, she says, unbelievable.
Right. She's seeing it.
This isn't the same guy that was sitting on that couch 3 months ago.
Have you ever heard this? You're talking about that. Brings up a memory that I have of a little boy's walking along the seashore, and the tide has brought in some starfish, right? So this little boy, he's tossing those in the water, comes across an elderly man, kind of crusty, a little bit like yourself, actually.
Friend of mine.
Yeah, right, good friend. And the old man says, "What are you doing, kid?" And the kid responds, however he responds, and I'm saving these starfish, right? And the old man says, "You're not making a difference." He reaches down and tosses one in the water and said, "Made a difference for that one now, didn't I?"
Oh, there you go.
Huh? So my uncle came home from Nam, and I grew up racing motorcycles with him, so we became very close. So those guys don't often share a lot of their
No.
stories and thoughts. Sometimes they start hitting the bottle a lot harder than they should to drown those
Right.
things that I
Get rid of
always
those
think.
memories, yeah.
Yeah, I always think that I don't believe that the human mind is ever conditioned, especially here in America, maybe in Afghanistan, that it's conditioned to see or have to serve our country the way that they have to serve when they sign up.
They see so much and they're put through so much and stuff, and
Yeah.
then, when they come home, they're not getting the help they need. They're really not. And I think that's what really needs to change. When one of our veterans commits suicide, there's nothing for them. These families are mourning the loss of their child, and no parent should ever lose a child. Just not the way it's supposed to progress.
Yeah.
There's nothing for them. So with the memorial, we're hoping to give the families a sense of closure. Where with the service dogs that you're providing is giving them a new beginning.
Absolutely.
I mean, really, it's a new
A
chapter.
purpose, a reason,
Yes.
Yeah.
and to love.
How
what
can you
better?
not feel good about doing what you're doing, knowing that you changed that person's life?
Yeah.
You really did. And I wish you, like I said, I wish you could see the progression that they go through with their service dog and the change in them. I mean, you would literally go, wow, that's what my money's doing. I'm getting that 5-minute warning. Okay, why don't we talk about, before we close, the run one more time so we can get it out there, let everybody know where it's at, the date, time.
Go ahead, Robert.
War Dogs Run, October 1st, originating out of Woodstock, Harley-Davidson in Woodstock, Illinois, of course. About a 60-mile run, escorted by our law enforcement friends. Thank God and bless them for doing that for us and keeping us safe. Ending up at the Rock Bar in Beloit, Wisconsin. The after party, food, camaraderie, music, stories like we're telling today.
Yeah.
And we get to meet some of the vets and get to meet some of the dogs that day as well. So
Again, K9 is so privileged and honored to be associated with the War Dogs Charities. There's a lot of great groups out there, but I'm going to tell you, you're a step above the ones that I know of, believe me. So thank you for what you're doing for our veterans. Job well done. Steve, anything?
I'm sure Steve has something. He's at his home.
He's at home right now laughing at you.
Why do I do that with you?
Well, because we're like
just
brothers from a different mother,
checking.
Stephen and myself.
Okay,
Doug.
Doug,
Yeah.
you got the closing 1-minute warning.
Yeah. I would just sum it up by once again thanking you for providing that avenue for us, that we know that those monies that we raise are going directly to those vets for a great cause. We were talking to one of them on the way up here today and telling us, I said, hey, he's struggling through some tough times. How's everything? Yeah, we're getting our food and everything we need from K9s for vets.
Yeah,
So
we take care of the food and medical for these service dogs. Guys, I can't thank you enough. I know you come a long way to be here tonight.
It's
to
never
help
too
promote
far for
that
you.
run.
Yeah.
I know the run is going to be a success like all your runs are because of what you put into it. God bless you for supporting our veterans the way you do and for supporting K9. We can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
God bless you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.